Hey guys, I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit more about my weight loss journey. I went to the doctor yesterday, got a full checkup, and was pretty disappointed in my weight loss, especially in the last month. But overall, since starting on a GLP-1 medication and just with weight loss in general, that I've struggled with pretty much my whole life. So, I mean, yesterday, um, I'm type 2 diabetic, so my A1C is always a big check. I check that every 3 months. My A1C yesterday was 5.3, which means in the last 90 days, my blood sugars have been that of a normal person. So that is great news. I got on the scale at 310 pounds. Now, a little bit of background. My weight has always hovered around the 350, 355 pound mark. No matter how healthy or unhealthy I was, that's pretty much kind of where my body found equilibrium, is around that mark. So when I started this weight loss journey back in September of 2024, my weight was starting at 357. So as of yesterday, I was 310 pounds, which makes a total of 47 pounds lost. Yay, right? In this last month alone, I lost about 3 pounds. Okay. I know that the goal is to lose about 2 pounds per week when you're kind of losing weight, 1 or 2 pounds per week. And I know that this number in general isn't terrible, but it's pretty surprising, especially considering all the things that I'm doing right, supposedly according to all the numbers. So let's start with my working out, right? My activity. In general, I work from home. I work on a computer all day. So pretty much through most of my day, I'm pretty sedentary. I sit, which is why it's really important for me to actually go to the gym and work out. So I work out pretty much every day of the week now, but in the very least 5 days. So I work out 5 to 7 days per week. I weightlift 3 of those days and now do cardio on the rest. My actual weightlifting routines, just to give you an idea, are not just like going and kind of putting in minimal effort. I've been weightlifting for my whole life, okay? I'm moving a significant amount of weight. My routines, on the low end, I'm moving about 11,000 pounds in that routine. Up to, on the high end, 22,000 pounds. So between 11,000 to 22,000 pounds in a 1 hour session. That's a lot of weight. Well, this week alone, I hit 9 PRs. So 9 of the workouts that I did across the week, I increased my weights. So I'm still actually gaining strength, which is a good thing, because that was something I was really worried about going on this medication. And then when I do cardio, I do anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes, and I'll do, the levels. Like I'll fluctuate between incline and decline, and walking faster and slower, to try to keep my heart rate, in like the 120 range. So that's my workout routine. That's the first thing. The second thing is the eating. Obviously, I'm eating pretty clean. I mean, even though I'm on medication for my type 2 diabetes, that medication doesn't offset a shitty diet. If I'm eating a bunch of candy and ice cream and bad food, a lot of carbs or something, my A1C wouldn't be 5.3. Okay, so the numbers show that I'm not eating crap. I'm eating pretty clean. So then the next part of that is, how much am I eating? So I decided to track. I, of course, use a MyFitnessPal to track everything that I put in my body, down to every supplement, every powder, everything. And if I'm lucky, I will eat about 1,400 calories per day. And that is a struggle. So just a little bit of an idea. I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I am on Mounjaro, 10 milligrams. It is really restricting my calorie intake at this point. I am eating very little. There are some days that I don't eat any actual real food at all. What I try to do is at least get in some kind of bone broth with protein powder in it, and or protein shakes, to at least try to get protein in since I'm weightlifting still. Now, according to all the apps, someone who is 310 pounds, if they want to lose 2 pounds per week, the deficit that you would need to be in would be, I could eat 2,600 calories per day, and I should lose 2 pounds per week. I'm only eating about 1,400 and sometimes not even that in a day. And in last month, I only lost 3 pounds. How is that even possible? Now, let's say for the sake of argument, I'm not accounting for something. I'm not accounting for maybe the oil that I'm using to cook with, or I'm not accounting some supplement I'm taking, or whatever, or sauces that I'm using. Let's say that's the case, right? In order to maintain 300 pounds, I could eat 3,600 calories per day. So if I'm only tracking 1,400, I'd have to be off by 2,200 calories. Somewhere I'm missing 2,200 calories in order for the scale to not be moving at all. And I just don't think that's possible. So the next thing, I know people will say, well, Ledesi, weightlift. Maybe you're just gaining an equivalent amount of muscle, and that's why the scale's not moving. The truth is, guys, actually gaining muscle mass is very difficult. Okay, this is why there's an entire industry of steroids, because it is so difficult for people to actually gain serious muscle mass. And for a normal person who's not taking steroids, it's very difficult. Now, again, according to the numbers, a beginner weightlifter will gain more muscle mass because they haven't lifted before. They're shocking their muscles kind of initially in the beginning. So a beginner could gain about 1 to 2 pounds per month. An intermediate lifter, about a half a pound to 1 pound per month. And an advanced lifter would be lucky to gain a few pounds of muscle mass per year. Even in best case scenario, I'm gaining 2 pounds of muscle mass per month. There's no way that could possibly offset 2 pounds of fat loss per week. Or really, according to the numbers, I'm even in 1,000 calorie deficit from the calorie deficit. The numbers just don't add up. Now, I will say this. This medication is worth it to me because it does take all the thinking out of eating. I don't have any desire to eat. I feel full pretty much all the time. So in the past, where I wasn't on this medication trying to lose weight, eating in a calorie deficit was very difficult. It consumed a lot of brain power. Whereas this medication eliminates all of that. When you don't have any desire to eat, you can't overeat. So that in itself is worth it. Right now, the one thing that I'm really holding on to is, luckily, I did take measurements. I took measurements of everything, and looking at those numbers, it gives me some kind of shred of hope because I have lost quite a few inches. So I've lost about 2.5 inches in my neck, 3 inches in my shoulders, 4 inches across my chest, 4.5 inches on my waist, 4 inches on my hips, 5 inches on my left bicep, 3.5 on my right, and 3.5 inches on each thigh. So obviously I've gotten smaller, and I have lost weight, but it's pretty insane to me how I'm doing a bunch of things right, and I've lost really so little weight over time. So I'd love to hear other people's experience on this medication, what your thoughts are. Leave a comment.